I know it's been a while since I've done a video, so, well, face-to-face video, and so I thought that I would just do one real quick. Might not be too quick because I have a lot of things that I wanted to ask you and kind of share with you and get your opinion on from the videos that I have posted recently. So in this video I'm going to kind of just throw a lot of questions out there and go over information, really not in order, just random things that I have heard or seen recently that I might not have shared with you guys. And then you guys can comment on that, and that'd be great because it's kind of like my venting time right now with you guys. So let's start with the video I did on MGM Hotel that my friend went there and she took pictures, as many as she could. Now, I had asked if anyone else believed that someone could have gone in Chris's room and snuck out through the emergency exit, since she went through there and did not see any cameras at all, and it led her straight to the entrance of MGM, which would be the best getaway if anyone were to plan something or murder somebody or accidentally murder them or do something bad and then they want to get out. They sneak out through there and it leads them right into the front of MGM. No one would ever see them. You know, they don't even have to go through the lobby. They just go down that emergency exit and they're out of there. She had said that there was no cameras in the hallways except when you come out, when you get up to the 11th floor, there is a camera like right above the elevator, and that's the only one that she saw. And there was something that looked kind of like a camera, but when we looked at it, it was for Wi-Fi. It was like a router. So my thing is, if that was the only camera at the elevator and his room was at the very end of the hallway, which she said wasn't a straight hallway, it kind of twisted and turned, how is that camera going to be able to see around a corner? I don't see how that's possible. I have spoken to one or two people that has said that they saw the video of Chris coming in and out of the hotel and going into his room. I'm really not sure how that's possible because, like I said, if that was the only camera at the elevator, how does it see around the corner? So that's something that I just have to leave there because I haven't been there yet, and I mean, my friend went there, but she might, I mean, who knows? She says that she didn't see anything, but the police say that they have it, but the police also said a lot of things that weren't true. So that could be a possibility when we talk about, for the people that, like me, think that something terrible happened to Chris that night and someone got away with it. And that's just, I've been racking my brain for the last year and a half trying to figure out, well, how did they just make it out of there without anyone seeing them? If, you know, if there were cameras and like blah, blah, blah. And then when she showed me these pictures and I saw the emergency exit, I was like, oh my God, well, that's perfect. It's perfect getaway right there, especially since it leads straight to, she videotaped herself coming out and it leads straight to the street, like I guess right beside MGM. Like that would be a perfect way to get away with, I don't want to say murder because I feel like if I start saying murder, then everyone's going to think that I believe 100% he was murdered. I 95% believe that. There's always that room for error, and I might be wrong. about everything. But I've gone over this with y'all throughout this year and a half, and we've gone through the evidence, and we've talked about it on here with each other, and all of it just doesn't add up. There's something fishy about it. And even like I shared with you guys on this video, Tony, the grandmother, she makes it sound like she's trying to blame it on Amy and Peter because they hired, here, let's see, it says, new info comes to my attention that Chris's ex-fired assistant ordered his body to be embalmed in Detroit. It was coming to UCLA for further exams under our own doctors, which that I believe is true because I was told that they had that set up, but it was too late because he was embalmed, which now I know from researching that he could have still been looked at, even being embalmed. I don't know how that works. I haven't looked into the science of it yet, so if anyone wants to share that, like how it works after you've been embalmed, please share, because that would be helpful for us to know. So it says, not possible, couldn't do it, as we find out under the orders of the assistant, the body of your beloved Chris was embalmed. Oops, she said, which is Amy, I made a mistake. She was not authorized by anyone to take such serious actions. So people are like screaming online saying, well, there's no way that, they can do that legally because she didn't have like power of attorney or anything like that. Like Vicky would have been the only one that could have ordered the embalming. But when I looked up Detroit law for embalming, it said within 48 hours they have to either be buried, cremated, buried or cremated. If not, they're automatically embalmed. And from the timeline, it shows that it was about that 48-hour mark whenever, I guess, Peter got there, which I think is silly. I mean, because I would have been out there if it was. This is me. I know everyone. I don't want anyone to get offended, but I would have been out there that night. I mean, as soon as it happened, me and my kids would have been out there. I mean, it might have been traumatic for them, but that's just my opinion, but that's the way I would have handled it. Everyone's different. So, she goes on to say stuff like, well, all this happened, leaving his family with no choice but to move to cremation 8 days later and bring closure to the kids. And I ask you, doesn't that sound, together with other things, a horror movie for Chris Cornell? This woman is everywhere. To hurt his family. To this minute, she writes post APT Royal, still trying to throw punches at Vicky, which, by the way, isn't nothing to her, to me, to any of us. Dangerous, blah, 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 blah. Wait, she's dangerous. I counted 4 to be exact. Wait. But before Chris, zero connection, bet her and the Royals. It's a dangerous situation to say the least for Vicky and kids and then it's all scratched out. Anyway, it just feels like she's kind of like throwing it at them because she was just like, oh, it's kind of crazy how, like, she said, oops, I did this. And in another one that I think I shared with you guys, she speaks about how it's kind of weird how the ex-assistant and Peter's wife is the one that hired the bodyguard, and they said the bodyguard was just great and highly recommended, and then this happens. So she just seems like she's kind of throwing it at them. Moving on to, I don't know if you guys heard about or even know who the entertainment lawyer Blind Items guy is. I subscribe to his Patreon or something. I think that's what it's called. So I could listen to his podcasts on Chris Cornell, and he's supposed to know all these secrets and stuff about him throughout the years. So I listened to the first one, and I don't know if y'all did, but if the ones that have, do y'all believe that Chris was about to get divorced, for one? And secondly, do you believe that he had a serious relationship with someone over the years? That's made me, I mean, I had heard about all that before, and I think I spoke to some of y'all about that already, but just hearing this guy say it, and I'm like, well, I wonder who it was, if true. And it's just confusing, because either Chris is a really, really good actor, and he was acting the last couple of months of his life, or this isn't true. Because he just didn't seem like someone that was about to get rid of her when he spoke. Now, the actions look a little different, because I know at the Promise premiere, they didn't look happy at all, but that could have been they were tired. I don't know. That's what the mother had said, that they were just tired and stuff like that, but I don't know. And then what else did he say? Oh, I think he had said that Chris had a private Instagram that no one knew about. Taylor Munsum had mentioned it, saying that they use that to speak to each other. And it's just some normal looking Instagram with hardly any followers, and it's private, but he said it's still up, which obviously I looked for it. I went on her Instagram and tried to see if she was following someone that looked kind of boring and like not many followers. I found somebody, but I'm not sure if it's, I won't ever find out anyway. I was just curious to look. But do y'all believe that's true? And there's probably going to be a lot more, because I think he has 3 more. He has a part 2 and a part 3, I think, that he's coming out with the next couple of days. So y'all should check that out if you're interested in what this guy has to say. And what else? I'm trying to think of anything else that... Oh, the statue. How do we feel about the statue? I don't know. When I first saw it, it was the nighttime picture, and it just seemed weird colored, and it was just like, that didn't look anything like him. And then there was a picture of it in the morning, and that one, I mean, it kind of looks like him. It's a lot better in the light. I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't understand why. I mean, I understand he's from Seattle, and Seattle, the grunge, everything is all Seattle, and they wanted that statue at that museum. But what about his grave, where he's supposedly buried, his ashes? Well, some of his ashes. It's still just a grave marker. I mean, it's still, like, I mean, what, we're going on a year and a half now, and it just, sadly, just a grave marker. I mean, I know he's gone, and Chris probably could care less about spending all this money on a statue like the Ramon guy has, but as a fan, I'm like, dude, he deserves more than just that, because to me, he's iconic, so I still don't understand why all that went into the statue there. I mean, I know they probably had good intentions. Some people did, but then some parts of me thinks it was just for media publicity stunt. Because I also found out that there was an auction of his stuff, which I don't get. I don't know if I'm sure he has a lot of stuff he left to the children, but I mean, I would probably want everything of my dad's. But yeah, so the auction of some of his stuff following the statue reveal, which I thought was kind of weird. And I think that's it. I don't know. What do y'all think about the statue being in Seattle and the kind of his grave kind of being ignored? Does that bother any of y'all? And I don't know, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I'm sure there is, but I'm on the spot right now, so I'm going to try to look through here to see if anything the silent children thing that I put up here. I only put that up here because I had read the articles like I posted for y'all. Chris was the main financial backer for the documentary The Silent Children about sex trafficking, and Linkin Park was supposed to do music for it, and when he died it got shut down. And then there's a picture of Tony, the daughter, wearing the shirt, you can't silence us, or something like that. I reached out to somebody in the family, and they told me that Chris was not involved in that project, and that is not true. So I don't know where Detroit News George Hunter got this information from, but that's it. I mean, not sure. Oh, and I don't know, did you guys read where it says a head wound? Detroit News, a psychic has been contacting police, giving them advice where they should focus their investigation. I didn't know about that. But they already closed the investigation. Okay, this was in July 9th, 2017. So back then there was someone calling trying to tell them. But I'm sure they didn't want to, sorry, my nose is itching. They didn't want to waste time on it. They closed this case as soon as they could. They didn't want anything to do with it. Anyway, I went ahead and shared this with y'all anyways. This, what was the title? What's this doc, and why are we now hearing about this? Other remarks by Cody agree with. Did I even spell his name right? I don't even spell his name right. Yeah, all these documents, and I had never read these before, so y'all commented on it. Anyway, also wanted to say that I don't know about you guys, but I've gotten to the point now to where I'm still really sad about everything and angry, but I'm just tired. I'm tired and frustrated, and I'm getting more confused. I don't know what stories to believe anymore. There's so many, there's so many people coming up, like this entertainment lawyer with all this new stuff. Well, it's not new, but it's just more detailed, and it's just, I just don't know what to believe. And it just frustrates me. It makes me think that we'll never know for sure, because there's so many people saying so many different things, and there's probably people fighting to get this. There's probably people out there that know what happened but don't want anyone else to know, and powerful people that will make sure to bury this, make sure this is buried, and it will, I mean, the truth might not ever come out, and if it does, there's going to be huge consequences for the person that releases it, and it could open a lot of other doors that people don't want opened for other people. What? Sorry, my dog wants to eat. I'm not going to stop focusing on this stuff, and you know, I have my own life too, and I'm been really busy lately, and it's hard sometimes to get on here and re-look into all this stuff again, and because it's depressing, it's sad, and it just reminds me that he's gone, and that I might not ever get justice for him, and I know a lot of y'all understand how that feels. So it's just hard for me to do videos and research things, because it's just, it wears on you emotionally and mentally. But I'm gonna try, and obviously I want to keep this channel going, not just for investigation and like looking into the death of Chris Cornell, but more about keeping him alive through his music and statements and all the great things that he's done over his life. Alright, well everyone, I hope you have a great night, and I look forward to talking with you through the comments that you leave. Thanks. Good night.